In this world, 99% of the people are good, but 1% are great, and that is only because they choose to be great. One such great personality is Phil Knight, who founded the shoe store, Nike. Phil's success is a great example for hard work, determination, and perseverance. Phil didn't achieve success overnight, but instead faced many obstacles before reaching the pinnacle of success. Stick around to learn more about the success story of Nike. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get latest stories on success, productivity, technology, and more. Phil Knight was born on February 24, 1938 in Portland, Oregon. He grew up in the Portland neighborhood and attended Cleveland High School. Phil continued his education by enrolling in a graduate program at University of Oregon. During his graduate program, Phil developed the passion for running. Phil later served in the Army for 1 year, while also being in Army Reserve for 7 years. He later enrolled in the prestigious Stanford Graduate School of Business. Here, as part of his business study, Phil published a paper describing the impact of Japanese sports shoe on German shoes. This essentially premised his eventual foray into selling running shoes. His ambition was to import high-quality and low-cost running shoes from Japan into the American market. Phil graduated from Stanford in 1962. After graduating from Stanford, the shoe business idea was still just an idea, and Phil was still a confused 20-something who had little understanding of what he wanted to do next in life. Instead of waiting for inspiration to strike in his bedroom, Phil bought a one-way ticket to Hawaii and made sure to have Japan as one of the places to visit. As they say, there are not many things more romantic than a one-way ticket. When he got to Japan, Phil was shocked at the shoe prices as they were very low. There must be an opportunity here, he thought. With no business experience whatsoever, Phil set up a meeting with a Japanese shoe manufacturer, Onitsuka. While discussing his idea to sell the Japanese shoe named Tiger in the US, Phil left no stone unturned in selling his idea. Onitsuka was impressed and they decided to partner with Phil to sell their show in the US. When asked about Phil's company name, Phil came up with a name on the spot as Blue Ribbon. Before anyone could change their mind, Phil placed an order for 1,000 pairs of shoes. When he came back to America, he told his former running coach, Bill Bowerman, about his Japanese adventure. Bill put up the money for the initial order and became the co-founder of Blue Ribbon. This is the beginning of setting up a billion-dollar company. But little did Phil knew the obstacles he has to overcome towards achieving the success. When Phil returned from Japan, he put his sales experience to practice and started selling shoes from the back of his truck. Also, having Bill as a partner gave a big confidence boost. Bill was then training future Olympians. So Bill helped to give the Tiger shoe brand more exposure, helping in turn Phil sell more pairs. Bill modified the Tiger brand to prototype Cortez and got it manufactured from Onitsuka. Onitsuka agreed, and Cortez was Blue Ribbon's first sales success. In this fashion, Bill helped the young company get off the ground. The continued success of Blue Ribbon, however, was in large part because of Phil's unconventional, yet brilliant, employees. With sales increasing, Phil decided to expand within the US. He hired the first full-time employee, Jeff Johnson, who worked tirelessly designing innovative shoes alongside Bill Bowerman. While the sales for Blue Ribbon were increasing in the United States, the relationship with Onitsuka was deteriorating. Onitsuka was secretly planning to break the partnership with Phil and bring in more distributors in the United States. So, in 1971, Phil decided that the company would stop selling Onitsuka shoes and begin making its own shoes. However, the Blue Ribbon brand wasn't suitable for this move, and so a successor company needed to be developed. Rather than branding this new business himself, Phil asked his employees to suggest names for it. This is when Jeff Johnson suggested the name as Nike, meaning Greek goddess of victory. While Phil was working on setting up Nike, he continued to sell Tiger brand shoes with Blue Ribbon brand. The birth of Nike did not go well with Onitsuka, so they sued Blue Ribbon for breach of contract in Japan. In retaliation, Blue Ribbon sued Onitsuka in America and won eventually. Onitsuka was ordered to pay damages. Having resolved the dispute with Onitsuka, Phil now put all his time and energy in selling his shoes under the brand name Nike. He got Nike's Swoosh logo done by a graphic design student, Carolyn Davidson, in 1971 for $35. This logo is now considered as the most valuable logo in the world. Phil started to invest in advertising agencies and created the first Nike ad in 1976. Nike decided to set up stores around America to expand the brand. Nike started making good profit, and Phil started to expand his time as well. While the profit increased, Nike had to cross another major hurdle towards their success. This came as a lawsuit from the government asking Nike to pay $25 million. The lawsuit said Nike has violated American selling price law, whereby certain types of shoes would incur significantly higher customs duties. They accused Nike of violating it. Phil did not go down without a fight. He eventually made a deal with the government for $9 million. Phil felt that if he fought the government's claim tooth and nail, he'd never regain its goodwill, something his company might need at a later date. Nike eventually became the name in every household. By 1980, Nike had captured 50% of the US athletic shoe market. Having gotten good exposure for the Nike brand, Phil decided to take Nike public in 1980. Throughout the 1980s, Nike expanded its product line to encompass many sports and regions throughout the world. In 1990, Nike moved into its 8-building world headquarters campus in Beaverton, Oregon. The first Nike retail store, dubbed Nike Town, opened in downtown Portland in November of that year. While Phil was reaching the pinnacle of success, wealth did not spare him from tragedy. Phil had a major setback in personal life in the year 2004. Phil's son, Matthew Hatfield Knight, died at the age of 34 during a scuba diving trip with his friends. Matthew was the eldest son of Nike. Phil resigned as Nike CEO on November 18, 2004, several months after Matthew's funeral. Post-retirement, Phil dedicated his time towards philanthropic services. A number of lessons can be learned from the journey Phil took to achieve success. Number 1 in the list is, surround yourself with believers. Phil always had the support of his team, who believed in his vision. So when the going got tough, they stuck with him. Number 2 is, grow through the setback. The success for Nike came at the cost of many lawsuits, as well as the personal life tragedy of the death of his son. But this did not deter him from his mission for Nike. He decided to accept the fact and move forward. Number 3 is to stay out of your comfort zone. Phil was a born introvert. But he got off this comfort zone and made a world trip to Japan to pitch in his idea, which eventually led to creating a billion-dollar company. Lead from front. As you saw, it was not an easy journey for Nike to achieve success. But Phil kept his team away from the issues and led from front to resolve the issues, in turn gaining the respect of his team, who were with him during thick and thin. The last in the list is having a good vision. Phil's vision was to make available low-cost, good-quality Japan shoe for US athletes. With a good vision for shoe industry, Phil got out of the Onitsuka partnership to set up Nike's store to expand his business of selling shoes. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Come back soon for more productivity videos.